So welcome to another episode of At the Closing Table. We're actually in your new house. Normally I film this at the closing table, but I have my clients here, Jared and Kat. Want to know, how is this deal from your point of view?
I think it's successful. I'm just going to say that. And then
I would say, very successful. I would say Alan's coaching was crucial in us landing what we did, being able to understand how to make the right offer and make the offer that made sense. I'd say his research about the market helped us to know where we would fit in and be able to put the puzzle pieces together.
Well, it was really helpful because we were first-time home buyers. And so the initial meeting with you, you went through like everything with us. Like,
Was that
remember?
too much?
No, I just felt like we were so fresh. Like, I knew you did a lot of research and you kind of knew pricing and stuff.
Yeah, I had nothing compared to what we learned in that.
Yeah, we learned
session.
so much in like such a really short period of time with our team, like with you and with Matt. And it just made us feel really comfortable, like kind of moving into this whole world. Yeah, I just remember that first, it was like a Zoom call and Jared and I were like, that's a lot of information. It was a lot of great information. And it just really set the tone of what we just had just high expectations with working with you. Like you set it really high and we knew that you weren't going to like lead us astray. Like you gained our trust that first day.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Also listened to us as well. Which is super crucial.
So I'm very curious, what kind of research did you do prior to meeting me?
I would say we tried to get a little bit of understanding of the neighborhoods. We tried to understand where we fit in terms of price range and then how that related to the neighborhoods. It was really about kind of managing expectations, trying to get a sense for the market. That was the main gist of the research. I would say the other parts of the research were more around kind of like financing, like current state of interest rates, and just trying to understand, or not understand, but try to get a sense for the craziness of the market. It's kind of what I was trying to look at.
yeah.
I think it helped a little bit.
No, it did. It helped a lot. I feel like we were kind of, from like the initial get-go of making a decision to buying a home, I feel like you and I were just like on the same page and just kind of like,
That helped a lot.
yeah, it helped a lot.
Yeah, and I think what you guys did really well was making yourselves available to go see a ton of houses. Because like in a matter of like 2 weekends, I think we saw everything that was on the market in all of East Boston.
Yeah.
Which really shaped, what you understood was possible and what we can get at what price points. And I think that's very important because if you're doing it, part-time here and there, so many things shift and change that you never get that bearing. We found this place. We decided to put an offer in. How was that process?
I remember we saw this unit, you saw it on Zillow, and you were like, that's like the one. It matches everything. Can we get it? And we were trying to set like an expectation, like we said, where we're not going to get like too excited about what we're looking at. And we're like, all right, let's go tour it. Obviously, we have to tour it. We toured it with you.
When we toured it, I think one of the main things that we identified was that it seemed like the list was less than it should be.
The price of this was at $5.4. Anyway, we were like, oh my gosh, that's like right within a really comfortable price for us. And we toured it that day and we looked at it. I told you like $750 was the smallest I would go for like a unit for square footage. That was like right on the money. It was like, this is $750, like right at $750. And it had like all the nice finishes and it had the balcony and it had the deeded garage spot, which was like really crucial. Because who gets a parking spot in Boston? Like a garage one.
And garage.
Actually, we toured this unit, and you don't know that you left, but we actually came back that same day. We came back the same day to look at it again. And then that's when we were like, if we're going to put something in, we got to want to win this one.
Yeah, I think the first step was you helping us understand that the price point was started off lower and that we would need to go higher. So that helped us kind of get a sense for what was coming. Then at that point, it was just you helping me understand the different ways that we could enhance the offer, make the offer stronger, what other offers might be. And I think through that coaching is what gave me the confidence to understand the risk level and put in the offer that we did, which was amazing for us, was accepted.
We did 2 rounds.
Yeah,
didn't
so
we?
the first round, all we did was just get you guys in there. you guys were like, oh, should we go higher? I was like, I don't think that's necessary right now. I don't want to
Yeah.
push the envelope, because if they come back the second time around and they give all the information out, we're kind of, I think of all the buyers as like one group, we're just bidding against ourselves at this point. So I wouldn't push the envelope knowing that they're going to come back the second time. So when they came back the second time, they're like, you guys are the worst offer in price point,
Yep.
the lowest
You
one.
told us that, yeah.
But in my conversations with them, with their higher offers, like, aren't you concerned about it appraising, right? And they're like, yeah, I guess there is some concern there. I think that was very important, because maybe they had that concern in their head, but to have someone else confirm that same fear, makes it reality, where they have to consider a realistic number, not just take the highest offer that they get, because it could come back not appraising and then they're back to where they started. When we started looking at the neighborhood of what's selling around us and determining what is the market value for this, what could this appraise for, and we came right around that number and we waived our appraisal contingency, which is a risk, but if you understand the value of it, that risk goes down.
It was a calculated risk
Mhm.
that I only felt comfortable taking, knowing what you had told me, knowing all the information that you had gathered. That's why it was successful in the end.
And we knew it was a competitive market, like just
Yeah.
in general being in Boston.
I mean, we can't thank you enough.
Well, it happened so fast.
Yeah.
Like, we put the second bid in, and we weren't expecting to hear anything from you in a couple of days. And I think it was
Mhm.
that evening at like 10 p.m. you
Yeah.
called us, and you were like, it was accepted, and we were just like, you had like no reaction because
Yeah.
you didn't, like, none.
Jared's like, I knew what I was going to happen.
Like, well, I don't know. It was just really weird. Jared was like quiet. I like cried, and then Alan was still on the call, and then it took you like a couple minutes to like realize that we got it.
I don't want to
It's
say
just-
you sounded surprised. I think you sounded very excited.
No, I mean, there is definitely a level of surprise, considering it was your first offer, considering that we weren't the highest offer,
Yes.
Yeah, you told us
and
that,
just
yeah.
price, and it came down to terms.
That was such a huge learning point for me, was that we weren't the highest offer, but it came down to terms.
So now that you guys are experts, let me ask you some questions that I get often. Jared, this one's for you. When you have a bidding war, does it always mean that it's gonna go above appraised value?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, it can come down to terms. Everyone can bid high, but does it happen sometimes? True, yes.
I guess it all depends on where the seller's head's at, which is impossible to know. You can take guesses. It did seem apparent that the seller was anxious to sell.
Mhm.
And that was something that we talked about, using that knowledge to, know that they're trying to move quickly. That kind of added up to some of the terms that we drafted up. I mean, it seemed to me like we played that really well.
Why were you guys okay with waiving your appraisal contingency?
In the end, it was the research you did, the confidence that I had after we had, also done so much looking as well. And I think, we had a feeling for it, but having you kind of confirm it and having you kind of bring that information to the table really solidified it, and that allowed it to be a calculated risk. I love a good calculated risk.
Especially when it pays off.
Yeah.
Yes,
Especially-
For financing, we went with Matt Tran over at Total Mortgage. How was he in this process?
He was great. I think Jared talked to him way more than I did. But like I said about you, it was just really comfortable, because any dumb question that I had was like off the table. I was like reading a document. I'm like, where can I find our actual interest rates? Online, something. And I'm like, where do I find this number of like what we're going to be, like what we would be paying for a mortgage? I was like, where I can't read these documents.
Oh
And-
no, those things are super.
Yeah.
I know, and
Even me.
I was like, those are what I like was asking
So-
Matt about when he was sending them over.
Yes, so helpful in terms of translating things that we don't understand.
Yes.
And I think also the strength of having the two of you as a team working together.
Yes.
Also, I couldn't explain necessarily how it strengthened the offer.
Well, and it definitely translates over to the sell side, because I'm having conversations with the list agent. Matt's also calling and advocating for you guys. And from the sell side, you have to consider the financing. I mean, the financing is 80% of the deal. If the lender can't come through, you have no deal. So the whole team matters. And then the last piece of that was Rick Dunn over at DR Law. How was he?
He was really quick doing our purchasing agreement. He did it so quickly, and honestly, it helped us because of whatever the supplement that came back later about the whole balcony renovation. We knew walking through this unit that there would be balcony work, and they said, "Oh, it's included," but little did we know, like, it hadn't been like approved yet, and like the cost of it hadn't been approved yet for the whole building, and so it got sent out to the seller a number, and we were like, "Oh, are we gonna have to pay that?" And then you had already had it under control, where it was like written in our agreement that it would be like any supplemental cost. It would be like our offer is like null and void, we could potentially do that if we wanted to.
Yeah.
You were the one that kind of helped us navigate those waters, because we were like, oh my gosh, this is like a decent amount to pay, and it was like something that we weren't prepared for, but because of our contract, or because of what it was written, it saved us and it gave us more control, as opposed to it just having to land on us paying, because then the seller ended up paying for it in the end.
I mean, I also think just like generally having the whole team, having all of y'all know each other already, work with each other already, made a lot more sense than, us bringing in somebody, making that like a patch of a team. It just, the whole thing seemed to go so much smoother than it would have otherwise.
And there were so many other people on all those emails.
Very robust team behind it.
It was huge.
There's a lot that goes into it.
There's like a ton of people on those emails. But I feel like the whole process is you're not getting your toes wet. Like, I never felt like, it's just like you're getting dunked in like quick.
Well,
and
you
then
guys
it's like
took advantage of a good opportunity.
That was the other, I think, really helpful thing, is you helped us understand the seasons of the market and the seasonality of the market.
Yeah.
That was another thing that I think helped understand potentially the urgency of the seller, and also helped give us a bit of urgency as well. That was extremely helpful to know the kind of difference between the so-called winter market and the summer market, or maybe you guys have different terms for it.
Yeah, because we were on the end of winter.
Given that there was something on the market that we liked.
Yeah,
I think it helped lower the amount of people we were bidding against.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were also in a time crunch ourselves, though, or at least was ending.
Yeah, and we were so nervous about it, but you were calm and collected, and wasn't an issue at all.
Yeah, you showed nothing, and I was like, okay, if Alan's all right, we'll be all right.
Yeah, we got it done, and you didn't have to compromise and settle for something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're very happy with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ecstatic. I mean, we're still moving in. We still have like a ton of work to do. But, it just, we love it. We absolutely love it.
Happy for you guys. Thank you for participating in this video. If you guys have any questions about real estate, hit me up, 617-888-2542.